And we are off. What is up, guys? It is that GTA fan 720 and
J-Wall.
Okay, get in the frame more. Yeah. So set your phone off.
Saying that you're live.
Of course. So, what is up, guys? Welcome to the first episode of the JAG podcast. That is the Josh, Aaron, Ghost, and now J-Wall podcast.
Hello.
Yep. So JJAG, even though it's just one J. Actually, you know what? Let's fix that. So we have several topics here. If you guys are familiar with things like the WAN show or something like that, this is essentially the exact same thing, only much shittier. So anyway, guys, we have the episode 1 of JAG featuring J-Wall here. And basically, the way that this series is going to work, it's going to be live streaming, no particular time. It's just kind of, I'll hop on and say, hey, guys, we're doing this. So basically is I have a guest and we talk about many different things that happen in gaming and tech and whatever. Although I planned this podcast to happen like a month ago, so a lot of the topics I have are out of date, so I added a couple newer ones. There's a lot of stuff I didn't add that we'll probably talk later on because I still want to cover these topics. So anyway, guys, let's get into this. Let's pop on the full capture screen share and let's fix this. Okay, so we have the first episode. We have the first story. The release, yes, it is officially released now, the PlayStation 4 Pro. Now, what makes it Pro? It costs more, and it's supposedly good. But yeah, so the PS4 Pro was just released today. So according to this article from Trusted Reviews, I'm not really paying attention to new consoles, are you?
Not really.
Are you really? Yeah, we're not.
If I come across like a YouTube commercial,
or like
might
a
pay attention to it and search it up some more, but
yeah,
chances of that happening are very slim.
Yeah, you're just kind of like just going with the flow, like not really, because I haven't been really involved in the industry either, especially since like I'm really playing on PC, so I'm not really paying attention to what the consoles are going on. But I really don't understand this whole sub-generation thing, because it's like the thing about it, the original PS4 came out in 2013. This new one came out in 2017. Yeah. So that's 4 years. So wait, that's 4 years. Yeah. So that's like the same amount of time between the original Xbox and the Xbox 360. Yeah. So that's like a full console generation. So I don't understand why they don't just call it PS5 and Xbox 2 or whatever. Exactly. You know, so they're trying to be like, oh, it's Pro. And I think the whole idea is that they're supposed to be like, oh, well, you can still play if you have the original consoles, so you don't have to upgrade. But, like, why not literally just do that same thing but have backwards compatibility? Yeah. Because that's essentially what these are. So, and plus, this is insanely confusing to consumers, because I know a lot of people, they don't understand the difference between PS4 and PS4 Pro. Like, hence this article, they're like, what's the difference?
The name, Pro. It's all that's added on.
Yeah, that's kind of like, it's kind of like with tech people, it's like the GTX 1080, and people are like the 1080 is the highest. Do you know what the 1080 is?
No, not really.
It's a graphics card for gaming. Okay. It's like the highest M1.
Yeah. And
then like after like a couple months, they release an updated version called the 1080 Ti, which is essentially slightly more powerful. So Ti is like S, kind of like how iPhones. Yeah. They have iPhone 6 and then 6S or whatever. It's like the same principle. That's essentially what they're trying to do here. They're saying like, this is essentially. It's really confusing because the PS4 Pro is like a slightly upgraded PS4, but then they still have the PS4 Slim, which is like all the other Slim variants, where it's like the PS3 Slim, the Xbox 360 Slim, the Wii Mini, like that kind of thing. But then they have the PS4 Pro, which makes it kind of confusing. Plus, like, the console looks like a freaking cheeseburger. So,
it does.
I don't like the design of it, but I guess it's there. But the idea is that, you know, it has HDR now, it has 4K, and it has, that's pretty much it. It's basically just a 4K PS4. And
it's better for VR.
Yeah, and it's going to work a little bit better with PSVR. But like, it's like a lot of us still have VR on our phones. So, you know, it's like, I don't really understand how you need all this power, because like my cell phone works perfectly with virtual reality. In fact, I have a headset in my closet right now that I can use with VR, and it works. And what do you think about VR? Because like, I'm kind of lukewarm on it.
I think it is a pretty cool like new step in gaming and streaming and stuff like that. But eventually it's gonna die down because
something
new will come up and
I don't see VR like remember how like a few years ago like the whole hype was 3D TVs. Like, cause like they would be like this new 1080p TV, but has 3D built in.
Yeah.
And like everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, 3D TVs!" How many people do you know who still have 3D TVs, or even bought them in the first place?
I don't even know.
Exactly.
I do kind of want to get a 3D TV because I do think that'd be pretty cool for movies and stuff like that.
It's like the same thing with VR because it's like, oh, it's more immersive. It's more you're more into the experience. But like, how many times you're honestly gonna want to sit with the headset on, like watching a movie or playing a game?
Exactly.
It's like I do the VR thing on my phone.
It's a great way to tone yourself away from reality and stuff like that.
Well,
but,
I mean, so is that pretty much just the thing what we're doing now? Is like it's not really about the gameplay. It's just about getting us away from the physical world.
Pretty much.
It's kind of like the whole like Nirvana thing.
I mean, I do think that maybe VR could take a step into like medical uses, and I'm sure it probably has.
That is a very good point because I've mentioned that in the past where like there's this one story with this woman. She was like 89 years old. She wasn't able to go outside, and their family bought her like a VR headset that she put her phone in. And she was like blown away. She was like, she was so happy.
Yeah.
Because she was like finally getting that experience.
VR actually has been around for quite a while. Do you remember
Virtual? Do you remember the Virtual Boy? Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing sucked.
Do you remember that one episode of Shameless where Sheila puts on that headset thing? That was basically virtual reality.
Kind of. I don't really know that show, but I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Where it's like they were trying to envision what the future would be like. Yeah. Or I've seen like this commercial from Microsoft from like 1998 where it was like they predicted video chat, and this person was holding like a big piece of like plastic with a screen on it. Yeah. And they're like Skyping each other, but like before Skype.
Yeah.
And I was like, they predicted the iPad, or like not necessarily the iPad, but like the tablet. Yeah. You know, that kind of thing. Or people envision like these glass panes, like that they have in their pockets that are their phones, and it's like we're not too far away from that. No. There was even a phone that came out last year. It was called the Show Me Me Mix, and it was like a completely bezel-less phone. It was like all like here. Let me show you this because this is actually pretty cool. But it was called the Show Me. They're like a Chinese company. They're essentially like the Apple or Samsung of here. So they made this product, and essentially what it was is like this completely bezel-less smartphone.
Yeah.
Like think about that. Like that's like all screen and this tiny little bit at the bottom.
Well, there's a little bit on the edges, but that's just to...
Yeah. And then, of course, like... Of course, yeah. Because then, of course, with, like, Samsung, Samsung's doing the whole thing with the curved screen. Yeah, and now Apple is even, like, with the iPhone 8, they're supposedly doing that full screen thing. Yeah. So, it's definitely interesting to see where we're going to go.
I kind of want to see them take, like, phones and, like, make them into, like, holographic projectors. I think that would be pretty cool.
Like Google Glass? Do you remember Google Glass?
Yeah.
I can't even say that.
But
Google Glass?
You just, like, set your phone down and, like, the camera, like, even the little flashlight thing and, like...
Or kind of like how they have, like, the Apple Watch or, like, the Gear S3 where it's, like, a full phone built into your... Like, a smartphone built into a watch. Yeah. So it's kind of like the James Bond thing. Yeah. Or now how they have, like, the S8 has, like, the iris scanner so you can, like, sign in with your eyeballs. And it's like you feel like James Bond. Yeah. Like I've used the iris scanner on the it was the Note 7, and that was like a really cool experience. Yeah. But going back to consoles, like I don't understand how people are legitimately excited about this, because it's like ever since like the 360 and the PS3, like we kind of hit the law of diminishing return where it's like keep in mind 8 years in between consoles, and it still didn't look that much better. Yeah. Because if you think about GTA 5...
If you're going to, like, wait a while to produce a console, you should make it worthwhile. Like, you should make it, like, a completely new design. Even a new logo, maybe. Like, new controllers.
They did that with the...
New games being made.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like,
and this webpage is starting to be stupid, so let's get rid of this. My computer's freezing. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's talk about on the next topic. Now, this is relatively similar topic. The Xbox One X, which this one hasn't been released yet, but this was Project Scorpio. Yeah. And it's like, Microsoft, when are you going to learn how to count? It's like...
Exactly. They go from the Xbox to the Xbox 360.
So it was one 360, it was one 360, one One X. Because keep in mind, the One S is the slim model.
Yeah.
But the One X makes it sound like it's another revision of the Xbox One. But this makes it even more confusing. But because it's like 360, they had 360S and they had 360E. So now they have Xbox One X and One S. See, I'm already confusing it.
Do you even know why they put the 360 on the Xbox?
Like the backwards compatibility?
Not the backwards compatibility, like the name. Like, why did they put 360 on it? Because isn't 360 like just 360 degrees around?
Funny story that like, they actually did that.
Not a circle.
They actually did that because 360 starts with 3, so it sounds more on par with the PS3.
It is true.
But then they go Xbox One against PS4. If you watch some of the launch 360 commercials, a lot of them say, "Oh, we put so much more work into 360 than Xbox One," because at the time Xbox original was called Xbox One. So there were people from Microsoft who worked on the 360 calling the OG Xbox the Xbox One. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yes, this is launching for $499. It's essentially got like a lot of stuff, and it's the same thing as a PS4 Pro, 4K HDR.
It does look a little bit nicer, but not very much.
Yeah, it looks like an Xbox One S that someone
I don't really
black.
like how it's so blocky.
Yeah.
I think
and like
curves,
one thing that I didn't like is that they did nothing to the controller, and like I do not like the Xbox One controller.
I don't either. I think it's a little bit too bulky and big.
Yeah, because like the 360 controller was perfect because like it fit into your hand. So the only thing that sucked was the D-pad. Yeah, and they had that transforming one where it flipped, but that still wasn't. If they just had the Xbox One's D-pad on the Xbox 360, but still made it like work on the Xbox One, I would buy an Xbox One.
Yeah.
I would have bought an Xbox One.
I do want a newer one, because right now I have the Halo 4 Edition Xbox 360.
Oh, dude. I actually have the controller for that, but it actually broke.
Yeah.
Do you have a controller for it? Like
I
a
do,
Halo
but
4 Edition?
The battery pack part, like, here, where's the controller? Okay, so, like, this part right here, it broke off because I accidentally stepped on it, and then the two, like, metal prongs on the inside for battery.
Dude, show it on the screen. You're off the screen a little bit.
This part of the backing and the two metal prongs that are inside for the battery, right there.
Yeah, the things that hold the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the little springs, they broke off.
My friend got me like a black backing for it, but yeah, it still has the front Halo 4 and still see-through and everything.
That's cool. Yeah, put that back on there. Yeah, we got like three Xbox controllers, but yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? Because like, I think they should have just... I mean, then again, like, what do you honestly else get? Like, are you going to call it Xbox 2? Yeah. Or Xbox... Like, maybe now, it'll be like Xbox 360, Xbox One, then, like, Xbox 720. If they're going
to add a letter to it, they should make it alphabetical order.
Yeah.
So
but,
Xbox
One no,
A,
here's
Xbox
what I'm saying. Because, like, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox One... Then maybe, like, they could have done Xbox 720, then, like, Xbox Uno, and then just, like, keep it going on. It's like...
If you don't, like, envision or, like, make the actual console different, at least make the name more unique. Like,
yeah, because, like...
yes, you are Xbox. You need at least the word Xbox in there.
Well, yeah, like, Xbox, obviously, but, like, why One X?
Why not make it, like, a new name? Like, why keep it in the one series?
They were calling it Scorpio. Like, why didn't they just stick with Scorpio? Because I think Scorpio sounds badass. It
does, really. Yeah. It does.
Because, like, Xbox like, Scorpio.
Instead of just, like, the plain black... Xbox, like, they should make it like Flames or something if they called it Scorpio. I think that would be, like, awesome. And
well, yes, the only problem is that, like, most...
Skins, but
yeah, because, like...
have it default on there to where it don't peel off.
Well, the thing is, like, a lot of people wouldn't really want that. They would want something more, like, elegant in a way. You know,
and
like...
there's a magical thing called skins.
Yeah, but then, like, people who want the Flames will already be skinning it with it. Because, like, you can already debrand your Xbox One to have, like, carbon fiber or something like that. Yeah. So... I don't really agree with that, but, like, they should have just stuck with Scorpio. Yeah. And, like, I mean, I'm obviously not getting it. And plus, like, if you have 4K, there's not much of a... Now, people were bringing up, it's like, what about the resolution? Because if it's in 4K and it downscales to 1080p, it'll still look nicer. And some people were saying, like, no, because it doesn't work like that. It actually does. So, even if you have 1080p, it'll still be slightly better looking than the original Xbox One, but... you don't want to spend $500 for that.
Exactly.
You know? So the price is pretty much right. It's like, remember when the PS3 first came out, it was like $600.
Yeah.
But that thing was a tank. Like, you know, so I've kind of mixed feelings on this. Why don't we actually show what we're looking at?
I feel like right now, like in our era and technology and stuff like that, mainly like tech people who make tech.
Tech people who make tech. That's awesome. That should be their slogan. Tech people who make tech.
The people who are hired to come up with the ideas, come up with the designs,
like the developers and stuff.
They want to keep it all the same, but yet again make it all unique. And I feel like
similar
yet
different.
It is all similar.
Kind of like what Apple does.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like sell you the same thing twice, but say it's different.
Exactly.
They've literally sold the exact same phone 3 years in a row.
Same, but there's really no uniqueness to it. Yes, the name is unique, but not that.
That is not unique. That is not unique
that much
at all.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Like just a letter difference. Like if they're gonna make a new console, make it a completely different. Make it a completely new name, in my opinion.
Yeah. So let's go on the next topic. Another gaming topic. Open this up. So the NES Mini has now been fully discontinued. So you probably know what this is. This is like the NES Classic Edition where they had like the tiny Nintendo that Nintendo was selling. So many people were trying to get a hold of this thing, and Nintendo's like, nah, we're just going to discontinue it. So, like, these things now cost, like, as much as an Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Because, like, the scalpers are, like, trying to get rid of it. So, oh my god, no, I don't want your crappy newsletter. So, I mean, there's not really much to it. They discontinued it, and they shouldn't have. Because, like, I know a lot of people really wanted this.
I actually haven't really heard much of the Nintendo NES, but...
The Classic Edition, you mean?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
Just in general, actually.
Okay, so that's... Well, here's the sort of happy news about it. Make way for the Super Nintendo Classic Edition.
Awesome.
So they're making us... Like, we literally were just playing Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
But, like, they're making a Classic Edition of that. It's like, why didn't they just keep... Like, what does Nintendo honestly make? The Nintendo Switch... and
DS's and
the
pretty much all
3DS.
Really make
so they make the Switch and the 3DS.
Yeah.
What else do they honestly make? Like besides accessories and games.
Yeah.
Like as far as hardware goes. It's like you can't make this cheap little thing that plays games. It's like these things are it's like I never expected Nintendo to make one of these because they have the whole virtual console thing.
Yeah.
But like I'm surprised they did it. And then they just completely turned their back and stopped selling them. It's like they better reintroduce the NES Classic alongside this during the holidays.
What I would really like for Nintendo to do is just like I know, yes, they do have the Nintendo Switch, which is a really cool thing. Like I like how it has like controllers that can attach.
I would like to get a Switch and a Wii U at some point.
Yeah,
but like now it's not really on my list.
But like what I want them to do is make a new like console that hooks up to the TV. Like a new one.
Like you mean like a traditional console?
Yeah.
Not like one with like a tablet or like a more like a tablet.
Yeah.
Like not because like this is one thing that people have always said Nintendo need to do. Like they need to just sit down, shut up, make a pure competitor to the Xbox and PlayStation. Like just
I would love to, I think...
make a powerful machine because that's the whole thing with the Wii U, the Wii, and now even the Switch. It's like. They don't make them powerful enough, so they're not able to run as much stuff.
I think Nintendo, if they were to make like a new console, I think a lot of the adults in our era would want to buy it because they grew up with the Nintendo. They grew up with the Atari.
A lot of adults now are getting Switches, where they would never touch a Nintendo. Now they're actually considering the Switch. Nintendo's being very successful in their marketing with the Switch because they're actually targeting adults again, instead of like the Wii U, where it's like, oh, it's a little kiddie thing. It's like the Wii. It's like you waggle the controller around. It's like Yeah, I don't.
Literally, all the Wii is just a non-separated version
of the GameCube.
I don't know what a GameCube is, but anyway.
You don't know what a GameCube is? There's one right there.
Where?
The one before the Wii, in between the N64 and the Wii.
Oh, interesting. Anyway,
you know what a GameCube?
The Wii U controller and how it has like the does it have touchscreen?
Yes, it is touchscreen.
Well, basically, to me, all that. The Nintendo Switch is just a separated version of the Wii U.
That's literally all it is. It's literally just the Wii U gamepad, but like the actual Wii U is just crammed into the gamepad.
Yeah.
So then it has like a dock.
The
like,
console is kind of considered into the actual like tablet and stuff.
Because that's what it is. Like all the hardware is inside the tablet, minus the upscaler.
A really cool like portable thing.
Yeah.
Besides like a DS.
But like I don't really play portable games.
Yeah.
And like on the rare occasion I do. I have a smartphone with a pretty powerful GPU in it. So, And even then, I don't really like. You want to know what I play on my phone? I play Ms. Pac-Man.
I love Pac-Man.
I know.
They're always so fun.
I have this like $700 phone with like a beefy like processor in it, and I play Ms. Pac-Man on it.
Pac-Man is a really awesome game. It may not have like enough adventure.
Ms. Pac-Man is my favorite game of all time. Yeah. Okay, so let's. Yeah. So yeah, they're doing that, but like, why couldn't they like at the very least like keep the NES Classic going until the holidays, then maybe liquidate the last bit of it during the holidays, and then also have the Super Nintendo Classic. So like we're going in 1 year cycles. But nope, because that would require them to actually do something. Okay, so now we're actually getting off of this into some different units, and now we are branching off into smartphones. So the new Samsung Galaxy S8 red display tint Samsung says it's not a problem. Whereas whenever the S8 came out, there was a lot of problems with the screen turning red. I guess better that than the batteries exploding.
Yeah,
but like unrealistic, like they have done a lot, and the new batteries are like they've made it to where they like even most other phones, if you puncture the battery, it'll still explode. Yeah. But they don't. Samsung batteries are literally safer than most other batteries now because they put forth that effort into making it not do that. So that's really cool.
What I think would be really cool for like Samsung or any kind of phone company to incorporate into their phones for the battery part of it, is I want to see a phone that it can go a complete week or longer or maybe like a half a week on just one charge.
You are getting into really bad territory because think about it. The Note 7, the Note 7 pushed the battery as far as they go. There literally wasn't enough space for the battery inside the phone.
But like not even like a lithium-ion battery, just like a completely new battery.
They've been working. There's actually is a new battery standard. I forgot what it's called, but it's very powerful and very efficient, but it's extremely expensive. Yeah. Like I'm talking like thousands of dollars. So unless you're willing to pay that much for your phone, but yeah, like we're pushing this but personally, I'm pretty sure you agree with this. I would rather have a much thicker phone that could last much longer than like these thin, slim, sexy phones.
Exactly.
But then you have to like have these stupid batteries plugged into them to keep them alive. It's like I would much rather have a phone that was twice as thick and had a giant battery in it.
Yeah. And yes, they do make extra battery cases that can attach to it, but
they're bulky
they're really bulky.
Yeah.
Why not just make the phone itself bulky and powerful?
It's like, and people always say, well, some people don't want that. It's like literally just make a different SKU, because like AT&T has like the S7 Active that has like a giant battery in it, and it's like really rugged. And like I want that phone. I want a Note 7 Active. That's what I want. That is my dream phone. I want a Note 7 Active. But I have Verizon, so I can't get access to those. They won't work. Yeah. So that sucks. But the red tint. So basically, like Samsung, there were some issues in Korea with the displays being red. They released a software update. Shut up. They released a software update that patched it. So because this thing was before the patch, so as a result, that's not really relevant anymore. So this story is completely stupid. So goodbye. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. If I can pull it up here while switching between a lot of stuff. Okay, so next. I talked about this. This is pretty interesting. So Microsoft unveils a $1,000 Surface laptop running the new Windows 10 S. Do you know what that is?
Windows 10, I do.
Windows 10 S.
No.
Yeah. Well, like Chromebooks and stuff, right?
Well, yeah.
So Microsoft is releasing a version of Windows where you can only download apps from the Windows Store. So,
I know what the Windows Store is.
Okay, so I don't need to show you.
It's basically like the App Store or Google Play Store.
Only much worse because there's like no apps there.
Yeah, there's hardly any.
So,
like the apps that used
Microsoft
to be
actually did this in the past they called it the Surface RT, and they had Windows RT, which is a version of Windows 8 that only ran stuff from the App Store. The problem with that is that was stuff that was running on ARM chips. So like the same stuff that's in our phones. Yeah. So they can't run x86 apps because they're not designed for it. But what they're literally doing here is selling you a $1,000 laptop where you need to pay $50 if you want to unlock the Windows 10 Pro Edition. So that way, this is going to be terrible because so many people are going to buy these laptops and they're going to return them because they're going to think they're defective because they can't install Chrome or anything. You know, they can't install Photoshop or Steam, let alone Chrome.
I mean, yeah, it would be nice if they did have, like, if they had more of a variety of apps to the Windows Store, that would be something different, but they don't.
Yeah.
Like, what apps that they do have are, like, apps that were trending 10 years ago.
Not 10. Okay,
Not 10 years ago,
let's go into this. Okay, so let's open up the Windows Store. Okay, so let's open up the Windows Store, and let me pull up my phone and pull up like the apps that I have on my phone. Okay, so let's look up. Let's go to my home screen. Just the apps that are on my home screen. So I already know it has Facebook, Messenger, and Instagram and Twitter. So what about? So let's look up Tumblr. Do we have Tumblr? No Tumblr. We don't have Tumblr. Okay, we have these fake off-brand Tumblrs, but we don't have the real Tumblr. Tumblring, what is all this crap? Okay, so we don't have that. What about, let's see, do we have Discord? Do we have Discord? We have fake Discords. We do have a real Discord. Okay, so this is the real Discord. That is nice. So we have that. So far, out of 6 apps, we've got 5 of them. Okay, so let's look up. Okay, this is a kicker. Because keep in mind, you can't install x86 apps. So look at this. Google Chrome. Meet Microsoft Edge. So they know...
that little T-Rex game that Chrome does whenever you can't load anything.
Okay, yeah, so you can download the T-Rex game from Chrome, but you can't download the real Chrome. Okay, so what about Google Photos? All the Google stuff. Google Photos. No Google Photos. Okay?
There's quick Google Apps.
Yeah, okay.
No.
So what about, say, Reddit? Do we have Reddit? We do not have Reddit. We have fake Reddit. Okay? Well, obviously we're going to have Microsoft Word. That's a given. I know there's Spotify. What about an official YouTube app? Okay? Nope. No official YouTube app. We have all this other crap that never works. And I know because I've tried them before. What else do we have? Okay, I know there's Netflix. Let's see. Oh my god. Okay, let's look up. Like, what is the average person who has a Windows tablet? Like, let's say this is on a tablet. Angry Birds. Okay, so we do have Angry Birds, but you have to pay for it. Unlike on the phone. Yeah. So this is $3.49 as opposed to free on Android.
Yeah.
So do you get the point? It's like okay, half of this stuff isn't even on with the Windows Store. And you want to know another kicker? There are alternative web browsers on the Windows Store. There was this one called I forgot what it was called, but you're not allowed to change the default web browser or search engine. You are always forced to use Bing and Microsoft Edge.
I mean, Bing, yes, they do have like a reward system where you can get new
stuff
and stuff.
I like Bing. I like Bing for when I'm trying to find transparent PNGs.
Yeah. Bing
is good for that, but like still, it's like you don't have the option. And Microsoft Edge is a good browser, but as you can see, like I clearly don't use it. I use Chrome and Firefox, and I literally have like 12 other browsers installed, like Vivaldi. I use this browser called Vivaldi. It is really good, although it doesn't sync, which is why I don't use it right now. But once they introduce sync into Vivaldi, I will be primarily moving to Vivaldi because it is like the ultimate power user web browser. Not sponsored, okay? So, let's go to the next topic. And I'm getting a lot of notifications. Okay, so here is a very nice story going on. So there is Apple introduces the iPhone 7 Product Red Edition. Consumers can now purchase iPhones in a beautiful new finish and contribute to the global fund to fight AIDS.
I do think the color, it does look really nice.
I love the color.
But, yeah, the color, it is very nice. It's not too bright, not too dark, but
I love
that,
this color.
Metallic-like finish, kind of like a ruby, but not transparent.
I absolutely love this color.
Yes.
I wanted to get the silver Galaxy Note 5, but they don't have it in America, so I had to get the bluish blackish one.
Yeah. And yes, I do think that the funds that are globally go to AIDS. That is a really good thing. But what they need to do is they need to introduce a rainbow color.
So gay pride. A gay pride iPhone 7.
Well, yeah, that would work too. But like a red one, an orange one, a yellow one, like individual like
because
colors.
I agree with you there because like
all they have
if you don't like let's say you go and you want to buy a Galaxy S8. So right now you have the option between gray, silver, and black.
Yeah.
You can import a blue or a gold one, or if you don't like that color, you can get a different phone. Whereas iPhones, you have one option. So why don't they give you much different? Like, remember the iPhone 5C?
Yeah.
They had all the different colors.
Well, not
like
all
what?
Of them, but most
Well, yeah,
of them,
they had orange. They even had like yellow and like lime green, which I would never find appealing on a phone. But they have those colors. Why can't they do that? Yeah. Now, I love what they're doing here because they're funding this project, and this is great. Although, like, it's a red phone. Why would you have a white front on a red phone?
Yeah,
like,
I like
if it was black, it would have been perfect.
Oh, black, yes, definitely.
Because like black and red.
There was a YouTube video. I think it was like
Jerry rig everything. Jerry rig everything. Yeah. I think that's what you're thinking of, where he swapped out the screen so you had a black screen on the red frame.
I mean, yes, if the screen does break, yeah, you can get a black replacement,
but then the home button, because going back to the right to repair bill thing, if you replace the home button, it bricks your iPhone. Yeah. Like, not like Touch IC doesn't work. I mean, like, it bricks it. Yeah. Unless if you try to replace the home button, you're effed. So
it would look way better with the
black, yeah.
Yeah, or at least maybe even keep it consistency red. That might look pretty
cool.
Ooh,
actually, yeah, that would look really good. Although, like, the S8 is actually, because normally, like for example, see how this blue color is on the front of this phone? Yeah. On the S8, all the fronts are black. Even, like, because they like the whole screen thing where it's like the infinity, so they want to make it, like, more immersive or some crap. Yeah. So that's good. Okay. So, yeah, I think that's really good. Okay. So, this is out of order. Actually, no, it's not. Okay. So, you're not a computer guy, but I want to get your opinions on this. Okay. This is also very out of date.
I do actually like computers.
Okay, so
just don't have
this was like literally February. So this was months ago. But so AMD announced now they're actually starting to announce something new called Threadripper, but their new Ryzen CPU lineup. So, Intel, they've been top dog for quite a while. And as a result, there hasn't been much competition. So Intel's been able to have, processors that aren't that powerful. Because keep in mind, I paid $200 for a quad-core processor on my computer, and my phone has an octa-core chip. Twice as many cores in this cell phone. And my desktop computer that I do all this other stuff on only has 4 cores. Why is that? It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Because they want you to pay more for little.
Exactly. Like, I can get an 8-core Extreme Edition, but you know how much they cost at the time? They cost like $1,900.
Exactly.
So, and speaking of which, they actually compared the 1800X, which is like their $500 CPU, to an Intel Core i7-6900K, which is like it was like a $2,000 chip. So that's like a fourth of the price. And I love this because this means that the Intel's pricing, and Intel just completely, like, they've introduced a lot of new stuff since then, which we'll talk about in a later podcast. But they're like trying to like catch up because they are just exploding onto the scene, which is great because competition is great for everybody involved. That means prices come down and we get better products.
Exactly.
So
I think like there should be at least a brand or something like that should give a really good product and make it price efficient to where almost anybody
Speaking
can
of which,
buy.
there's actually a new phone that came out called the OnePlus 5. We'll talk about that in another one, if I remember. But yeah, so I don't want to go into this because it's new chips. They're more efficient. Blah blah blah. I have a 6600K. I'm perfectly fine with it. I don't really care. So yeah, that's great. Okay, so let's pop on the face cam again. But do you have any final thoughts on that before we jump into the next topic?
Not really.
Not really? Okay. So, going back to right to repair again. Holy balls. That is a lot of old school iBook GeForce. Okay. So, Apple forces recyclers to shred all iPhones and MacBooks. Documents obtained by motherboard. No reuse, no parts harvesting, no resale.
This, if you ask me, I mean, you're just making the environment worse. Every single time you shred something or don't reuse it, like, it would be different if
like,
you melted down it and use it in a new iPhone.
People always think, like, oh, we should recycle, but do you know how much percentage of a computer is actually used when you recycle it? How much of it's actually recycled? It's like 15%. It's like 10 to 15% is actually recycled. So the rest of it is thrown away. So they are taking, in many cases, perfectly good products, and they are shredding them. And this is literally, like, painful to watch. Because as a person who's actually made a pretty, not necessarily a living, but a pretty decent wage off of repairing people's computers, I do not support this whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure anyone in their right mind shouldn't support this whatsoever. I don't understand how people will literally want their devices to be so thin and so sleek and so sexy and so beautiful, but, like, you can't fix it.
Exactly.
Like, think about this. This phone, the moment the battery dies in this phone, I'm expected to throw this out and get a new phone.
When I would love to see with, like, newer phones to have a, like, back that is able to take off without, like, so many screws and stuff like that.
Yeah. Because, like I just want, like, especially now with, like, the whole batteries exploding, it's like, I was very surprised when on the Note 8 they're still gonna have a sealed back. Because it's like, wouldn't you want to go back to, again, not even, like, permanently, just have a SKU. Like, have a Note 8 and then have a Note 8 Pro or whatever. Yeah. Or, like, Note 8 Legacy, whatever you want, whatever stupid name they want to call it. And have it to be where it has the, like, the leather back, like the older ones, where you can take out the battery. It's easier to swap out an SD card. It's not as fragile. Yeah. You know, maybe even give it, like, a plastic, like the Moto Z Force. Like, the regular Moto Z has a glass screen. The Moto Z Force has a plastic, just like yours, where it'll scratch a lot easier, but it won't actually, like, shatter. So you can throw it all around. It'll get chips, it'll get dents, but it won't shatter. Yeah. Which I would love having a plastic screen that doesn't shatter, because then people are like, oh, what if it scratches? Put a screen protector on it. Exactly. Then like, you don't have to worry about it shattering, and then you don't have to worry about scratches. So I honestly don't understand when people are like, I want a glass screen because it looks better. It's like,
but yes, glass screens and plastic screens, they may feel a little bit different. Like, glass screens are more slick, but if you ask me, the more slick it is, the more it's hard to, like, touch. I like plastic screens because they do provide a little bit of a grip.
Yeah, because, like, if you're holding this, like, it still feels smooth, but at the same time, like, it feels like you're actually, what's the word? It feels like it almost feels like that you're actually holding a tool. Yeah. As opposed to, like, a cheap, like a fashion statement, you know? So I don't understand, like, especially with, like, Apple products. It's like, Apple makes good products, but, like, this is unacceptable. I don't understand how anyone can be in support of this.
Like, yes, I understand with, like, the older iPhones, like the iPhone 4 and previous iPhones, like, yeah, they should shred them, but, like, the original iPhone, no. iPhone 2, 3, and 4, and 4S, they should, because mainly they, what's the word?
Because they're obsolete.
And they don't, yeah. Because it's awesome to see his stuff destroyed, but...
Well, think about it like this. It's like, would you rather, like, completely shred an iPhone 4, or would you rather give it to someone who wouldn't be able to have an iPhone?
Exactly. Like what they do with all older iPhones.
Exactly. So there will always be a repair. Like, think about, like, this laptop. Most people would consider this obsolete. This laptop is from 2008. I got this for $20. If this practice was in place, then I would have had to buy a brand new laptop just like this for, like, over $2,000. I spent $10 on this, and I bought some extra RAM, an SSD, and a battery. I spent a total of $80, and then used a Windows license I already had. Yeah. If this was a MacBook, this would be a useless piece of crap. And I know, because a store is selling a 2008 MacBook. Do they allow you to install the latest version of OS X? No, they don't. You're stuck on, like, a 2009 version that nothing supports anymore. Exactly. So Although I will give Apple credit where credit's due, when it comes to cell phones, they give a lot better support when it comes to software. Because Samsung, even Nexuses, like Google, like they make Android, they'll only update the Pixel for like 3 years. Whereas Apple, the iPad 2 from 2011 got an update last year to iOS 9.
Why not make it iOS 10?
Maybe they did. I'm not sure. But they give their products 5 years of support. Samsung, 1 to 3. The Galaxy S2 only got like 1 year of updates.
Yeah.
So and then my Note 3 got like 3 years of updates, I want to say. So it got OS updates for like 2 years, and it got security patches for like a couple months after that. And whereas that's one thing I will commend Apple for, is they do support users greater on the software level as opposed to hardware. But they're absolutely abysmal when it comes to hardware. So if your home button breaks in your iPhone 4S, give us money. So yeah. Okay, so that is great. Let's go on to the next topic. So this one's a doozy. Samsung will sell a refurbished version of the Galaxy Note 7 to address environmental concerns. Now, a newer version of this article actually proved that in South Korea they are releasing a refurbished Note 7 under the name Galaxy Note FE, or Fandom Edition, on July 7th. So that is coming out. And they were actually wanted to, because, there was almost 4 million of these phones made. And then about 3 million of them were returned. So, obviously, I still have one. But really? Gonna mow your lawn right now? We're streaming. So they were actually gonna dump all these phones into a shut up! They were gonna dump all of these phones into a landfill, and as a result, an environmental corporation basically stepped out and said that they need, yes, here we go, Greenpeace USA. And they said Samsung will recycle millions of recalled Galaxy Note 7 phones. So they're going to have a smaller battery in them, kind of like what you said about how you want a big battery. They're reducing the size from 3,500 milliamps to 3,200 milliamps. And you want to know the funny thing is, Samsung recalled the Note 7 about 3 weeks after it came out. They released new versions, and then those still had the same problem. Yeah. So they had to do a double recall on it, and it sucks.
Consumers, they do want it. They do want new tech as soon as possible, but there's no need to really rush it.
I want a refurbished Note 7. I will trade my Note 5 right now for a refurbished Note 7. And if I can get a Note 7 in the blue coral color, because I loved that color, then I would do it head over heels. And I would totally, hand over fist, I would get that phone. But they don't want to sell them in the U.S. And the U.S. is the country where we got screwed over the most with this Note 7 recall. Literally, on Christmas Day, carriers pushed out an update that prevented the phone from charging. Merry Christmas, your phone's bricked. Yeah. So, you pulled off the charger, it died. And then it would keep spamming you with notifications saying, your phone's been recalled. Return it, even though you paid $1,000 for this phone. You have
if you
the
do
right to keep
return
it.
Yes, you should get either, a better phone that equals the price, or get your money back.
Well, that's what they did. Is they would swap it out for an S7, and they would give you the price difference, or they would give you a full refund. And they did give you some incentives, they would give you $25 no matter what, and they give you $100 if you got another Samsung phone. So if you bought an S7 Edge, which was $100 less than the Note 7, you would essentially get an S7 Edge and then $100 back. And a lot of times, they would accept you just giving the phone. So you keep all the accessories and everything. Because I know on eBay, there are Note 7 boxes all over the place. And I'm going to pick one up at some point. Yeah. But yeah, so people kept all the accessories. They just said, fuck you, here's the phone. Exactly. And they take that because they're like, well, we have to take it because it's recalled. That's a great thing about this whole thing is that people always bring up, it's if you have a Note 7, you need to return it. But it's if anything, you shouldn't, because if it explodes, then you're guaranteed a refund. You are guaranteed a refund. Whereas if another phone explodes, you're not going to get a refund out of that. They're just going to be like, oh, sorry, Chuck, buy a new phone. Yeah. So, I support this, but at the same time, these should have been they should have sold these for $200 or $300. And they're selling them new for $600. Yeah. Which is $600 is still cheaper than the Galaxy S8. like $150 cheaper, but like that's literally like that's like around the same price that you can get a brand new S7 Edge right now from Samsung.
Yeah.
Because like it's last year's model. And I understand that they're not making more of these, so obviously they only have the couple million, and they're not even using all of them. They're only selling like 300,000 of them. So, which kind of makes me really want to pick one up, because the Note 7 itself is already extremely rare for obvious reasons, and then now the refurbished one is going to be even more rare. So, I don't know. They clearly are caring more about covering up their ass on this thing. They want to seem like they're more for the consumer than what they're actually doing. Because as a person who wants to collect this series of phones, how am I ever going to get a hold of this? Like, I have that fake one, but it's not, like, I would like to get, like, a real functioning Note 7. And I don't care if it's recall, post-recall, pre-recall. It's like, it's not going to explode. It's like, this whole word explode, like, it was literally 40 of them that exploded out of 3.5 million.
Yeah.
So, like, is that more than other phones that would have substantiated recall? Yes. But these phones aren't bombs. Like, people are acting like they even banned them on airlines. So if you take this phone on an airline, then you will be charged $180,000.
Holy cow.
If they catch you with the phone.
Yeah, it's better just leave it at home.
And I know plenty of people where they had the phone with them, they didn't know about the recall, and the TSA literally took their phone and threw it in the trash. And, like, just said, screw you, get on the plane.
I'd be like, I'm staying behind.
So then at that point, Samsung actually had to set up kiosks at airports where people could trade their Note 7s on site.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's cool, but I haven't had to fly. So if I had a Note 7 right now, like, I wouldn't return it. Like, like, it won't get updates anymore, but, I mean, Samsung phones rarely get updates anyway.
Yeah.
So, I would have to block the update that keeps it from getting charged, but, like, I can do that. I don't have a problem doing that. It's sort of like a $3 app, and you can block it, block the updates. So, I don't know. This is kind of sad. I mean, especially because I bought this phone recently, so if this hadn't happened, I would have a Note 7 in my hands right now, because I purchased my Note 5 after the recall. So I should have been able to walk out with a Note 7, but they took it away, so I had to buy last year's model. So, I guess it's better than my phone potentially exploding, but, like, that wouldn't have happened anyway. And, it's like, the good news is that this is making Samsung be a lot more responsible, because these have happened in the past where Samsung batteries have exploded inside of phones, and they've always just said, oh, it's not that big of a deal. So now I think in the long run this will be a good thing, because it will increase awareness for consumer safety, because this is something like there's like the whole thing with hoverboards like catching on fire and burning down people's houses.
Yeah, I mean, it's because they overcharge them.
Well, yeah.
And
that's the reason why the Note 7s happened. Like, granted, there were a couple faulty batteries, obviously. That's with anything. But people were still, like, there's one guy, like, he left a Note 7 in his Jeep, and his Jeep caught on fire. And it's like, if you do that with any phone, like, the battery will get hot enough. Like, have you ever, like take the battery out of your phone and put it inside, like, a toaster or something and see what happens? Like, it's going to explode. So, it's stupid. But I do think this will help Samsung in the long run. Of course, now the S8 doesn't have that problem, whereas if this wasn't recalled and they weren't looking into this, then potentially there could have been like 1 or 2 stories of S8s catching on fire.
Yeah.
But, like, there's been none. Literally none. Like, there's one person, he stabbed it with a knife, and the battery didn't catch on fire. Yeah. It smoked a little bit, but it didn't catch on fire. So, and I've smashed batteries in the past. Like, you saw the video with the Note 2 where I punctured the battery and it smoked. It didn't catch on fire. It didn't explode. But, that's just what happens. It's like lithium batteries are very unstable, and people don't understand that these are significant issues that need to be addressed. And thankfully, it'll hopefully be, since it's now remedied, and I'll definitely check in once that refurbished unit comes out, and we'll see how sales are doing with that. If there's any reports of it exploding, but obviously that's not going to happen, because like the same measurements with the S8, they're doing it on this refurbished Note 7. Yeah, so Intel responds to Core i7 7700K overheating issue, cluelessly suggests that we stop overclocking. They want us to stop overclocking our chips that they advertise as us being able to overclock. If you don't know what that is, it essentially means like make it run a bit faster, you know? So they're telling people don't do it. So when you in the lieu of the new AMD CPUs, they're telling people don't overclock your CPU, that you spent the extra money so you could do that. It's like we're literally getting to this point where people can advertise stuff and tell people not to do it that way. Yeah. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, Intel. What are you doing, really, Intel? But yeah, so they're just being stupid and trying to, cover it up, and they finally issued a statement saying you shouldn't be overclocking your chips. That's why, which sounds like such an Apple response. It's like you held the phone wrong. That's why the phone lost signal, or you're using it wrong. That's why it bent in your pocket. You know. Yeah. That is one thing I'll give Samsung for. At least they manned up whenever they had those problems. They're like, okay, look, we really screwed the pooch on this one. We're going to give you a new phone, you know? So yeah, there's not really much else to talk about that. Intel was really stupid. Okay, let's go on to the next topic. Okay, we have one more topic left. So this is actually just right about an hour. So we're at 10 minutes left. Yeah. Okay, so, yes. So there's another iPhone article. So, oh my God, really? Yes. So, oh my God, lag.
It's because it's trying to play that ad.
Oh my God, so many ads. Apple leak reveals iPhone 7S, iPhone 8, iPhone X, whatever the hell they're calling it. First off, why would they call it iPhone 8?
Exactly.
Like 4, 4S, 5, 5S, 6, 6S, 7, 8. Samsung did the same thing. They went Note 4, Note Edge, Note 5, Note 7 because they wanted because the Note came out after the S's. Yeah. So they wanted to have the names line up. So Apple's apparently going to do the same thing because they want to match up with the Galaxy S8. I don't know. This is really stupid. I do not like this. Granted, I usually don't buy iPhones anyway, but I like the Galaxy S8, but I think we're taking it too far. Yeah. It's like I prefer just the regular screen. Like no curves, no fancy stretched out aspect ratio, just a classic panel.
Yeah, it does look cool, but like how many people are going to want that? Like it does look cool. In my opinion.
Well, a lot of people are wanting it. I know a lot of people who have the S8 and they love it. But it's like what is the benefit here besides just it looks fancier? Yeah. Cuz like the S8, they got rid of the home button, they got rid of the capacitive buttons, which is why I like Samsung phones. I like having the physical home button. Yeah. And they got rid of that.
And same with the iPhone 7, like it's just like
where it's like a touchpad. Yeah. In a way. Now, that is a good idea because I do like that haptic feedback, and it does make the phone water resistant a little bit easier. Yeah. But of course that means you can't really replace your home button anymore. So it's a double-edged sword. It goes both ways.
Like, have you ever wondered how your retirement savings compare with your
cares.
No, I have not. Shut up. What were you saying? Oh my God, the ads. These ads are awful.
But like, what I want to see is like a iPhone or like a Samsung phone or some kind of a phone or any really technological device, 100% waterproof.
That's never going to happen.
Without a case.
That's never going to happen.
It may never happen, but who knows?
I mean,
we don't know what could happen in the future.
I guess, but like nothing will ever be 100% waterproof because then someone will go scuba diving with it 1,000 feet, and at like 1,236 feet, it will die. You know,
yeah, I mean,
after, it's like nobody is going to use because think about it. Like the iPhone 7 is IP67, which means you can submerge it in 1 meter for 30 minutes. The Galaxy S8 and S7 are IP68, which means 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. So, and like, I would understand, like, if you dropped your phone in a pool, but, like, who is going to drop their phone in a pool, have it sink all the way to the deep end, and then let it sit there for a half hour?
Exactly.
It's like I've always like I even had that exact same phone. I've had LG phones, I've had Samsung phones. I've always been able to like pull my phone out in the rain and change a song, water pouring down on the screen. I've never had a problem. I've even washed off my phone at times.
There was one time I used to have this little tiny LG phone, and
yeah.
I went to the pool one day, and I forgot that my phone was in my pocket, and I went down the slide, and my facial expression was hilarious. I was like shocked, but yet so amazed at the exact same time.
So it still worked?
So it didn't work for 3 days, but then after 3 days of me wrapping it in a towel and putting it in rice.
Yeah, don't do that rice thing because that's actually worse for your phone. You should literally just let it sit out.
But like the only thing that didn't work on the phone itself is the home button because it got rusted and there was
twice in the last 4 days. Drones have crashed into sporting events.
Okay, you're done.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I've definitely like haven't, especially now, that is one thing I will give Samsung is that even though the S5 had a removable back and was water resistant and the S6 wasn't, fundamentally alone having a sealed phone will make it easier to have it water resistant.
Yeah.
And like the S7, literally all they did was put a couple flaps or like seals around like the SIM card tray and the headphone jack and all that. And as a result, like that's where encoding overloaded. Oh my god. I thought we got rid of this. Okay, well,
it could just be because we've been running for 56 minutes.
Probably. Let's just turn this down one bit more. We're almost done with this anyway. Let's see, output. We're gonna put this on slower, so the lowest encoding preset. Who cares? We're ending this anyway. So yeah, that's I've never had a problem with like non-waterproof phones. I am kind of upset because the Note 7 was water resistant, like officially, but like I've never dropped my phone in a pool. I've never, dropped my phone in the toilet. Everyone always talks about like, oh, I dropped my phone in the toilet. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
Actually, I did that once with not this one. My other Motorola one, the Razr HD or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
I think it was Razr. But yeah, I had it in my pocket, and I leaned over to unzip my pants, and it fell out.
So is that where this is happening? Because people are like, am I the only one who doesn't take my phone to the bathroom? Like, am I the only one?
I do, sometimes. It just depends. Like, if I'm taking a shit, yeah, I'm going to need some sort of entertainment. I play Minecraft or Angry Birds or something like that.
How lack of attention span do you have to need in order to not be able to stop using your phone for 5 minutes to take a crap? It's like I've never wanted to watch YouTube videos or whatever like while I'm using the restroom.
Yeah. It's
like I know some people probably watch like porn on their phone or something while they're in the restroom or whatever, but it's like I don't understand that because it's like why would you want to expose your phone, water resistant or not, to water? Especially like, let's be honest, if you drop your phone in the toilet, are you honestly gonna want it to work again? Are you honestly going to?
True.
Are you honestly going to want it to still work
like
after that?
A $3,000 phone, which I wonder if there's a phone that's $3,000.
There's actually a phone that costs $20,000. Yeah.
Probably like coated in gold.
It actually is. Oh, yeah.
Okay. But,
and there's actually
if it was like a super expensive phone, I'd take it out of the crap.
But let's be honest, like if you had a phone that was that expensive, why wouldn't you be able to just afford to get another one if you're gonna buy that kind of phone? So there's no reason where you would want to drop a phone like disgusting into a toilet and have it still work, or at the very least like even want to touch it after that. But then again, if it is water resistant and you drop it, then you'd be able to wash it off. So I do see that point. But let's be honest, like the truth is that your phone screen is a lot of times covered in more germs than a toilet seat, because like you're exposing this to so much heat, and like of course like your pocket is like an oven.
Yeah.
So oh my god, can this just not be smooth for like? Can this just not be smooth for the past couple seconds of this stream? Let me switch to hardware encoding. Let's see if that screws something up. This is probably going to make it even worse. It says encoding overloaded, but it doesn't say there's any drop frames. So it's only on this end. Like, look at this. We're a slideshow right now.
Slideshow, yeah.
Guys, I apologize if you're watching this post-stream and you're having to deal with this. But I mean, this is technically a podcast, so it's really the audio that I just realized I didn't actually play back the first video to see if you were actually in the mic. So
no, but I mean, the dude did comment.
True, but I don't know.
If you can hear me, well, yeah, because the thing moves up and down. If you quit talking, it's still moving up and down with me talking. So,
Yeah, okay, so you're good. I'm just saying, like, I think because I'm a little bit louder, so it wouldn't be as balanced, but I mean, whatever.
If they hear us, they hear us.
Yeah, so yeah, guys, I mean, is there anything else, like, just random you want to talk about, like, regarding anything we talked about previously? Because, like, now would be the time to say it.
Older game systems are better.
I agree.
The classic game systems like the Nintendo or the Nintendo 64 or even the original Xboxes are always better than the ones that they have currently. Apparently your fidget spinner of good luck doesn't work.
I once saw this. I once saw this person where he spun a fidget spinner at 1,000 miles per hour and it cracked the screen on a Galaxy S8.
Yeah.
So I actually I've literally had this for one day and I've already dropped it and like right here it's scuffed because I dropped it on concrete and it already looks like a scuff. But I mean, this is kind of like I like to have like one device where I can kind of throw it around and not worry about it breaking. Yeah. So like I'm not doing that with my phone. So like this thing's like $10 and if this thing somehow breaks, like what's honestly gonna happen to it? So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Okay, the stream health is good now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about regarding any of these subjects. So, let's see. Anything... I've already talked enough about the Note 7, so that's... I don't want to talk more about that. 7700K, don't really care. Yeah, I would say so.
We talked quite a lot.
Yeah, so...
I mean, how many topics do you have?
We talked through all of them. I mean,
well, yeah, no, but how many do you have?
What do you mean?
Listed.
2. 2 people are watching this.
Topics, not people watching.
What do you mean?
How many things do you have on your list?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11? I thought there was 12. Whatever. It's like 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah. That's an hour and 2 minutes or so.
Yep, 1 hour, 2 minutes. All right, guys. That's probably like 10 topics for about an hour. So we spent like, 10, 12 minutes on each topic. So that's pretty good. So, yeah, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. And any last words? Not like death, but like before we end the stream?
No.
No? So you're good?
Yep.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
No, but I think about getting one.
Make one so then I can have these guys subscribe to you.
Okay.
And you should have your friends subscribe to me. And these guys.
Right.
I guess the one mob that's in the chat. Santiago HD. So, anyway, guys, this is that GTA Fan 720 and
JWall
signing out. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. If you guys want more of these JAG podcasts, drop a like on this video and definitely subscribe to this channel. If you want to see more like this, I will catch you all in the next one.
And if I can see a lot of likes on this video, I'll appear on more videos.
That's a good point. If you guys like this video, then JWall will appear on more of these podcasts.